The 761st edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Adios, Generinos. Welcome to episode 761 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Black Heart. What's the guy? What's the person's name? It's going to be a guy. It shouldn't say person. It's a guy. Black Heart Margot 3429. Even though Margot is a female name. Best channel for these underreported cards. Black Heart Margot says on our KSW 103 video, and I agree. Who else is covering KSW 103 or any of the stuff we cover? So thank you for that. Thank you for coming to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of your hosts, the Clean Monster, Jeff Fox, and this is our second half of the UFC return to the Apex. Hooray! UFC Vegas 102, aka UFC Fight Night. Cannonier versus Rodrigues. Yesterday was a team ride. Gumby and I agreed on all 7 picks without any collusion beforehand. This is no 1980s baseball collusion going on here. We just agreed, so even including a couple of dogs. So check out that episode if you've not already. Today is about the 6-fight main card. I mentioned his name. I mentioned Gumby. You may know him as Danny V. It's one and only Daniel Gumby Vreeland is here to help me break down the 6-fight main card. Thoughts on the main card or the odds or anything you want to talk about?
Kind of the same as we talked about yesterday. Lots of favorites that are real heavy, getting wider, and some kind of spotty matchmaking, but interesting nevertheless. And how many do you think we link up on here?
Do
you think this is where we run off the rails, or do we think we carry?
Probably. I don't think we've ever agreed on every fight, right? We've had at least one.
It'd be something.
I don't think we've ever. So, I think at least one we're going to disagree on. You're going to go off script and take someone that you should not take. Let me think.
Am I going to be like incredulous about it too while I'm doing it?
You always are. You're going to ridicule me. You already were starting when I was thinking about a prop bet, and you already were getting your.
Don't. Well, that's because I was thinking about giving up the opposite prop bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Emails don't. All right. I'll have to think. I have to write an article. Has to be something I am committed on, because I have to write an article on it too. And it's harder to fake your way if you have to actually write words about it too. So we'll see. That's for later. Locks, dogs, props, parlays, and/or. Actually, parlay or a
we're gonna go parlay today. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bury the lead. It's gonna be the parlay today. I just can't get enough. I can't get enough for the 100-man Jong super fan round robin, because there's just not enough big numbers on this card. If we need 5 big numbers to hit that round robin that we like to play, and there's not, like, even the ones that I like on here, it's like there's a knockout prop I like at plus 120, which is nice. But
give it to me. I need a prop.
Oh, I'll give you. I got a bunch of them. I got them all written down here. You can steal them
if I still have issues when we get to that point. All right, before we actually start getting betting points, let me remind you the football's over. That's not the part I want to remind you about, because you probably know football is over, but NASCAR is back. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up today for their free Daytona 500 contest to be entered to win $100 cold hard cash and $100 SGPN gift card plus random bonus prizes. So sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up now. And that's American money. So that's like $144 up here in Canada. So even better. All right, main card, ESPN Plus, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. I think this may be one of the cards that Sportsnet does not broadcast up here in Canada, because some cards, if they're not good enough and if they're just on ESPN Plus, they tend to just not be on the actual Sportsnet main channel. So check your local listings if you're in Canada. I have not yet. We're kicking things off with a featherweight bout. This, of course, is Saturday night. Connor Matthews versus Jose Delgado. And let's break her down. The controller, Connor Matthews. He's actually a controller, right? Isn't he like is he the guy that's...
Yeah, he's in the Air Force.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a financial thing. I thought that's a comptroller. There is someone with
if somebody had the nickname the comptroller,
that would be great. No, there is someone I think in Europe that has like an accountant type nickname, and it's the CPA.
Oh, you're thinking of
someone KSW or Octagon or something?
Kashuba. I'm pretty sure he's the auditor.
The auditor, right. No, this is.
I interviewed him about being an auditor.
Yeah, that's right. As I knock my lights over here, Matthews. This is an Air Force name, the controller.
Yeah.
Okay. He is 7-2, 1 knockout, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 0-1 in the UFC, 2-1 over his last 3. Lost his last fight via TKO. He's not won since October 2023. 1-1 in Contender Series. He's been outstruck in the UFC and the Contender Series by 0.89 strikes per minute, plus 310. Delgado is 8-1, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions, so very well rounded. Never been finished himself yet. He still has this, some decisions here since he's finished everyone. This is his debut. He's won 5 straight fights. He's not lost since February 2023. 1-0 Contender Series. He's fed at 155, 3 inches height, 2 inches reach, 6 years younger than Matthews. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.02 strikes per minute. This is all based off of one fight, though, for him. Minus 300. Delgado's my pick. I remember I went back and checked the film and stuff to remind me. But yeah,
how good he was.
Yes, how good he was. I knew that Conor Matthews wasn't anything super special. But yeah, I knew Delgado. I just want to remind myself how good he was. And yes, he's worthy of the price. So yeah, Delgado's my pick.
Yeah, I like Conor Matthews. I continuously say, like, I think he's kind of slept on in terms of how good he is. Like that fight with Francis Marshall on the first time he was on the the Dana White's Contender Series, that was really good. And, like that was a fun fight back and forth. And he's won some really nice fights on the regional scene. This is just an awful matchup for him. I don't know who he pissed off, but Jose Delgado has got excellent wrestling, like you expect from just about any MMA lab guy, right? He's got excellent wrestling offensively and defensively. And I mean, he is so fast and put together on the feet. He is dangerous with those hands. Again, like I know I mentioned Elijah Smith was one of my favorite guys off of Contender Series last year. I would rank Delgado as a better prospect in coming off the Contender Series last year. Like this is another guy who like I immediately circled, like, yes, this is a dude who we need to watch. And I just think that the hands, and we saw the hands of Francis Marshall be too much for Conor Matthews. I mean, I think Delgado is like 3 rungs of the ladder higher than Francis Marshall is in terms of striking. So I think Matthews is in for a long night as long as it stays on the feet. And I think he's going to have a tough time getting it down. So I'm on Delgado as well.
All right. We agree on that. Excellent. So that's what 8 straight now we have agreed on.
Right.
Maybe actually it's even more because we agreed on some to end last fight card too. All right, we're going to middleweight fight. Rodolfo Vieira, Andre Petroski, our boy. 3 5-minute rounds. Tell you about Petroski first. 12-3, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 7-2 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. 1-1 in the Ultimate Fighter, regional champion. He's fed at 170. 2 years younger than Vieira. He's outstruck actually his opponents in the UFC by 0.31 strikes per minute. He's at plus 220. Vieira is the black belt hunter, 10-2, 1 knockout, 9 submissions. So he's finished every one. He's been submitted once. 5-2 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 4. The past 2 have come via submission. He's not fought though in just about a year, February 2024. He's not lost since June 2022. He's fed at 205. He's a multi-time. I'm talking multi. His mantle is full of BJJ World Championships. Wikipedia has him listed as 100-9-1 in grappling. More active landing strikes than Petroski. He has been outstruck in the UFC though by 1.43 strikes per minute. He's at minus 250. Gumby.
I'm gonna go with Vieira.
We were disagreeing. You may have known that. So I wrote an article.
I love Petroski. I'm like a big Petroski guy. And I really do love his wrestling. The problem here for me in wanting to like Petroski is like, I don't think he's better on the ground. In fact, I think he's quite a bit worse than Vieira on the ground. Like Vieira's top control, the way he passes guards, there's a good chance that he just sweeps Petroski on a takedown attempt and winds up on top. And like, what have we seen from Petroski being able to get off of his back? Like it's a position he's not used to. And that to me is alarming. And then if he goes in there with the mindset, and I kind of have to expect this mindset just for the record, I kind of think Petroski's going to say, I'm going to go in there and anti-wrestle and just box it. And we've seen from Vieira in recent fights, like his boxing has gotten so much better. You know, like, since he lost that fight by basically being like outpointed, what was it? Chris Curtis beat him by just outpointing him. Like, since that fight, he's really dedicated to his boxing, and his boxing has played up really well since then. So for me, I like Andre Petroski. I like his future. Again, I think this is a bad matchup for him, and I just think that Vieira is going to get the better of the grappling exchanges, and he's possibly the better striker. So yeah, give me Rodolfo Vieira.
I don't think he's a better striker, but neither of them are good at striking. But as you said, he's been improving, which, you know, is a concern for my pick, Petroski. Reddit people really got angry when I said Petroski's got better cardio. They both have bad cardio, but Vieira pretty much died in a fight before.
Yeah, but I would say that that's an unfair assessment of Rodolfo Vieira too, because like, you're right, he did wildly gas out in that Anthony Hernandez fight. But also remember, he had Anthony Hernandez within an inch of his life in that fight. And that's why he was tired. Like, he almost finished Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And in retrospect, that is a crazy feather in his cap. Now, he did badly gas out and wound up getting submitted. But, like, that's the only time his grappling is, or his cardio has looked flawed for me. So I tend to think of it as a blip on the radar.
All right, we shall see. We shall see. I'm going with Petroski. He's been good to us in the past, so let's see if he can do it once again here. All right. Should I dive into another? How long have we been talking? Yeah, let's do another fight, shall we? You people want picks. Lightweight. The lesser of the Ismael, lesser of the Bonfim brothers.
The lesser of the Ismael.
No, he's the premier Ismael, but the lesser of the Bonfim brothers. Ismael Bonfim versus Nazim Sadykhov. We talked about Bonfim's other brother, or his brother, that fights in the UFC yesterday. Let's break this one down for you now. Sadykhov is Black Wolf, 9-1-1. 9-1-1 is no joke with his record. He's 6 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once, 2-0-1 in the UFC, 9-0-1 over his last 10. He got a draw in his last fight. That was back in November 2023. He's not lost since July 2023. He's not won since July 2023. He's not lost since November 2018. Does that make sense? Probably not. His last, whatever. Let's just move on, shall we? I think I butchered this up. Does that make sense? He's not won since. He had a draw in his last fight. Okay, that's why. Never mind. No one cares about this anyhow. 1-0 contender series, 2 inches height over at Bonfim, a better grappling stats than Bonfim. He has been outstruck in the UFC by 0.78 strikes per minute. He's at plus 175. Moretta, the other one is Retina. Little sledgehammer. This is big sledgehammer. Lighter weight class, though. I take it he must be older. That's the only reason why he's little. He's bigger sledgehammer, right? For Bonfim.
Bonfim? I think it's the size. Yeah.
He's 20-4, 9 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted 4 times. 2-1 in the UFC. 14-1 over his last 15. He did win his last fight. Lost the fight before that. He's missed weight before. He's regional champion. He used to fight at 135, 145, and 170. 2011 pro MMA debut, 2 inches of reach over Sadykhov, a year younger, better striking stats, more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.64 strikes per minute, minus 200. Give me both Bonfims. It's a Bonfim run. They're both going to win this fight. Sadykhov's been off way too long. And Moretta, I think, is a better fighter than him. Anyhow, even without the long delay, at the very least, he can piece him up on the feet. So give me the big sledgehammer in this fight.
I think the underrated part of this game, too, is the wrestling of Ismael Bonfim. I know Sadykhov has shown some wrestling here and there. Like in his last fight, he wrestled with Slava Claus, which we have now learned is maybe not all that impressive. But like if you go back and you watch his other fights, like he gets taken down pretty frequently. Like he came out in Contender Series and immediately tagged Hassanzada and had him hurt with, I want to say it was a body kick or something like that. And Hassanzada still managed a couple of takedowns in that fight, despite being badly injured. And now we're talking about this guy who's going up against a guy who's wrestled everybody except for Benoit Saint Denis, who he had to fight. And he did pretty damn good defensively against Benoit Saint Denis in the grappling too. So Ismael Bonfim's wrestling, I think, is far better. And then in addition to that too, Sadykhov has got some crafty striking, but he's going to have to deal with a fairly technical striker backing him up the whole time. And that flashy stuff works less good when you're on your back foot. So I expect, Ismael to turn up the pressure. I expect to see a couple of takedowns, and I expect him to be, a touch cleaner on the feet.
Flashy stuff looks less good. There's our title for the episode, Gumby. Thank you. We're both in on a bomb theme. All right, before we get to the rest of the fights and all our fancy plays, let me tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. The Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN. I almost gave you our fancy one, but we don't have one for Edge Boost. SGPN is your code. So you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. And you can use your Edge Boost card to make all the Al Horford prop bets that your heart desires. So it's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And mybookie.ag, we are brought to you by them as well. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Obviously, you can get all the UFC Vegas 102 lines over at mybookie.ag. So when you head to mybookie.ag, make sure you enter our code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. All right, we're moving on. Dylan Budka, third from the top, Gumby. Amazing, right?
I love it.
This is very, very...
It's mindless
Apex.
Is what it is.
It is. Very, very Apex card of them. They got a middleweight fight in the main event. And then Dylan Budka, third from the top. Middleweight's Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dylan Budka. Tell you about the mindless Hulk, Dylan Budka first. 7-4, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 0-2 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight and gone 2-3 over his last 5. He's missed weight before. 1-0 in contender series. Used to fight at 205 and heavyweight. Fought once, or actually we have one record at the very least in pro grappling where he got a draw. 3 years younger than Shahbazyan. The Golden Boy is actually older than someone here. Better grappling stats than Shahbazyan. And Budka has been outstruck in the UFC by 0.62 strikes per minute, plus 295. Shahbazyan, the Golden Boy, as I said, the Golden Boy versus the mindless Hulk. The Golden Boy is 13-5, 11 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. 6-5 in the UFC. Win, loss over his last 4. 2-5 over his last 7. Golden Boy no more. Got submitted in his last fight. He went 1-0 in contender series, 3 inches of height over Budka, better striking stats, and 3 times more active landing strikes than Budka. He has been outstruck though in the UFC by 0.13 strikes per minute. He's at minus 350. Yikes. I think it's me. Yeah, it's you.
I'm gonna go Edmen Shahbazyan. I think his grappling defense isn't bad, and that's pretty much what you need to beat Dylan Budka, right? It's like I'm not worried about Dylan Budka coming in and knocking him out. I'm not worried about Dylan Budka coming in and slugging with him and winning a decision. Like it's like, is Dylan Budka going to wrestle him? And Shahbazyan also fought Anthony Hernandez, which, we're talking about a retrospect here. He stuffed 9 of 15 takedowns in that fight against Fluffy. Like that's not nothing. That's a pretty impressive rate right there. So, I kind of tend to think his takedown defense is good enough. Also, Budka has been tagged in a lot of his fights. He's been hurt. Like Cesar Almeida knocked him out pretty much from the clinch and stuff like that. If you look at the recent wins from Shahbazyan, he's getting a lot done with his hands too. Since he's moved to Extreme Couture, really, his hands have really come around. He left that coach who just yelled head movement at the top of his lungs all the time. And then all of a sudden his striking was better.
Amazing.
But yeah, it looks better since he's gone to Extreme Couture. He's knocking people out. I think there's a good chance he probably knocks Budka out here. So give me Shahbazyan.
All right. Me too, obviously. Shahbazyan is the pick here. Getting a setup fight basically is what it looks like. But then they'll give him a step up next fight and he'll lose because that's what the pattern's been for him. Win, loss, that type of thing. So yeah, this is a fight that he should be able to handle easily. And I more on it later, perhaps, but I do like his finishing ability as well with his striking. So all right, we were in on that one. We're to our co-main event already. It is a featherweight bout. Calvin Kattar versus Youssef Zalal. Let's tell you about Kattar first. The Boston finisher is 23-8. 11 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 7-6 in the UFC. His record's gotten worse as of late. He's lost 3 straight and only won 1 of his last 5. He's not won since January 2022. He's fed at 155. 2007 pro MMA debut, an inch of height over Zalal, more active landing strikes than Zalal. He has been outstruck though in the UFC by almost 2 strikes a minute. He's at minus 199. That's not really a surprise if you've seen him fight.
That's pretty much just Max Holloway's
exactly.
fault.
Yeah, that's what we say pretty much every time we break down his fights. But yeah, he's taken a beating over his career. This man, he's at plus 333. The Moroccan Devil, the Boston finisher versus the Moroccan Devil. Zalal is 16-5-1. 4 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 6-3-1 over his UFC run. Oh, that's 2 different stints in the UFC. However, he's won 6 straight fights, all via finish. He's really resurrected his career. He's not lost since June 2021. He's fight at bantamweight and lightweight. 8 years younger than Kattar, better striking and grappling stats than Kattar, and he's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 1.13 strikes per minute, minus 420. Zalal is my pick here. Yeah, Kattar, way too much wear and tear on his body. Will Zalal finish him? I don't know. The Kattar does not get finished. Zalal's been finishing everyone.
Yeah, but he's been finishing people with subs. When
yeah,
has
exactly.
Kattar
That's
been
the thing.
subbed?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly a thing. So I think Zalal is going to win. I'm not predicting a finish though, but I think Zalal is going to do enough to beat Calvin Kattar because I can't really put any faith in Kattar at this point in his career.
I'm going Calvin Kattar. I think this is absolutely wild that this line is where it is. And I get that Youssef Zalal is on a run. But, like, what about a submission win over Jarno Aarons makes us think that he is going to fight Calvin Kattar that way?
Not the greatest opponents.
Right. Again, Calvin Kattar did just get out grappled by Aljamain Sterling. And that's a bummer. And it made him look like he couldn't grapple for a minute. But this is a guy who used grappling to beat Giga Chikadze. Like he is a good grappler, and he just ran into maybe one of the best grapplers in this division or close to it. And for me, when you look at the people who we've seen Youssef Zalal run through, like it's almost like we forgot that like he didn't wrestle well with Damon Blackshear. He didn't wrestle. He got taken down twice by Sean Woodson, right? Sean Woodson took him down twice and beat him. And like we're taking a guy who got beat up by Sean Woodson, and then he, submits Billy Quarantillo, and we're like, oh, he's definitely gonna beat Calvin Kattar. Like Calvin Kattar has only fought the best guys in the world, and his record is sort of deceiving too, because obviously the Aljamain Sterling loss is the Aljamain Sterling loss.
Yeah,
but like the Arnold Allen fight just started the second round, and he busted his knee. Like his knee went away, and like who knows what the last 4 rounds look like. The fight with Josh Emmett, he didn't lose that fight with Josh Emmett. The judges gave the fight to Josh Emmett, but he didn't lose that fight with Josh Emmett.
Again with you.
I mean, go back and watch it if you want. Like, but
doesn't matter what we think.
But my point is he's neck and neck with Josh Emmett. Is Youssef Zalal neck and neck with Josh Emmett?
At this point,
I don't think so. Because he beat who?
What's ever happened? No, he hasn't beat anyone good recently. It's true.
He hasn't beat anyone good. I mean, he beat Pete Barrett.
He can only beat who's in front of him, though. That's the thing.
No, and lose to Sean Woodson and Sung Woo Choi. Right? Because those are the guys he's losing to.
Yeah.
So, like, he lost to Sung Woo Choi and Sean Woodson. I don't think he's in the same ballpark. Whether he's improved or not, I don't think he's improved enough to go from losing to Sung Woo Choi to handedly beating somebody like Calvin Kattar, especially not at minus 375 or whatever it is. So, yeah, I'll take the dog money on Calvin Kattar here all day.
You were indignant, like you predicted you would be.
Yeah.
We just agreed.
His resume sucks. It's not good. I know there's 3 straight submission wins, but like then he's fighting a guy who he can't submit, is definitely a worse striker than, and has been fighting way better dudes than him. He might win, but like not negative 375 worth.
Yeah. Indignant Gumby back again. All right. Before we get to our main event time, let me tell you about Underdog. Gumby's in a big dog here. I knew he was going to go off and at least on one of these picks. So there you go. Actually, I took Petroski and you didn't. So there you go. I got a dog too. All right. Underdog, NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever your sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Gumby, I'm putting you on the spot here. Give us a play.
I'll take the higher than on PJ Washington's points. He's playing the Heat on Thursday, which is when you're going to be getting this in your ears. Somebody's got to score in Dallas, right?
I was going to say that. Yep. They need someone to score.
Yeah. And granted, he had a low total in that Rockets game, but he got beat up in that game, had to, leave it early. But he was in the 20s for both the games before that. So I like PJ Washington's higher than on his points.
They desperately need someone who is healthy and someone who actually put the ball in the basket. He kind of reminds me of when, maybe not. I was going to say when Ken Griffey Jr. His head exploded on The Simpsons and blew up really big. PJ Washington kind of reminds me of him. And sign up with the code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. Griffey was what? He was allergic to something, right?
He drank some kind of tonic, right?
Yes. Mr. Burns gave him the tonic, naturally. SGPN's partner Rhythm is a number one AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build you a model. They got college basketball. They got NBA. They got probably NHL. I'm guessing they have NHL as well. Rhythm has it all. Al Horford props. I do know they have that for sure. So claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, main event.
The tagline, by the way, for the tonic was it's like there's a party in my mouth and everybody's invited.
That's right. Yes, that's a classic episode for sure. One of the best. We got a middleweight main event, but we approve because it should be a fun one. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues is at least a meaningful fight, middleweight fight at the very least. I'll tell you about the Killer Gorilla first. Cannonier, the Crystal Man. He's 17-8, 10 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 10-8 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 2 straight, and he's gone 4-4 over his last 8. Even Steven. Used to fight at 205 and 265. He's an incredible shrinking fighter. Regional champ, 2011 pro MMA debut. 2 inches of reach over Rodrigues, excuse me. He's outstruck his opponents barely in the UFC. He's at plus 0.1. He's at plus 185 on the board. Hobo Cop. I've heard other shows call him Hobo Cop as well. They must listen to us, Gumby. Hobo Cop is 16-5, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, 7-2 in the UFC. He's won 3 straight and 5 of 6. He's not lost since January 2023. LFA champ, regional champ, 2014 pro MMA debut. 4 inches of height over Cannonier, 8 years younger. More active landing strikes and better grappling stats than Cannonier. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.83 strikes per minute, minus 225. And you get to finish off the picks here.
You know, I really debated taking Jared Cannonier here.
Really?
I'm going to take Hobo Cop, but it's not without a little bit of trepidation here because, look, he's got 100% takedown defense. I just don't think he's faced a lot. And that's the piece that worries. I mean, there's actually 2 pieces that worry me. It's that, like, what if Jared Cannonier's wrestling is good enough to put him on his ass? And then on top of that, he's a little bit chinny, right? Like, that's the thing about Hobocop is, like, he's been knocked out, and by guys we know he's better than. And, like, I do think he's better than Jared Cannonier at this stage in his career. I think his striking is more put together. He himself is very dangerous with the hands. His jiu-jitsu and wrestling is kind of underrated. He, like, forgets to use it sometimes. Like, I think all of those things are good about Hobocop. I just worry that, like, the chin and, like, what we know about his wrestling defense, which so far has been flawless. I have no reason to doubt it. But I just also haven't seen him fight a wrestler. And Jared Cannonier can be really good in top control. He has been before. So I worry about that a little bit. But I'm still going to take Hobocop here. I think the power will play up, and hopefully he stays away from the big right hand of Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, it is not a fight without risk for sure. I'm taking Hobocop as well. You'd think Cannonier is probably, like, at the very least, he's in his 40s and he's losing back-to-back fights. Now you would think he's on the downslope for sure, but he's still powerful and has a knockout power. Plus, as you said, the top power on the ground, all that stuff's scary. And Rodrigues has been knocked out 3 times already, and we've seen him get his clock clean. So all that stuff is scary, but we don't lean on this show. We give you locks, and we're both locking in on Rodrigues here. So Rodrigues here. Let's recap. So we differed on a few. I thought we were going to differ on 2, and we did. So there you go. Perfect. Both have Rodrigues. He has Kattar. I have Zalal. Both have Shahbazyan. Both have Bonfim. Ismael Bonfim. He has Vieira. I have Petroski. We both have Delgado. All right. Locks, dogs, props, all that fun stuff. I don't have anything ready yet. Right. It is my turn. It's my turn. Okay, let me find a good lock for us. Not going to be Rodrigues. We just told you why. I want to find one where the odds are okay as well. Should I take one of the bomb themes? Should I take? Well, they're both kind of high. Whatever. Let's do it. I will take Ismael Bonfim over Sadykhov at -200. We've told you why we like that, and that's my pick.
And I'm going to take Gabriel Bonfim.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I just think
that worked out well.
Yeah,
Are you going to take out either or just coincidence?
I was thinking about taking Ismael Bonfim. I think Sadykhov's, well, I mean, I guess both him and Chaos Williams have KO power, but I like the chances of him staying away from Chaos Williams is striking a little bit better than I like Ismael staying away from Sadykhov. I do like both of them, but I like Gabriel just a little bit better.
For my dog, my article I wrote was Petroski, but I'm going to take Mays as my lock for the show. Dontel Mays over the Clean Monster. We talked about that yesterday. You can check out that show if you want more info on why.
And I'm going to take Calvin Kattar. Believe in him. Think the strength of schedule and the types of people he's been fighting should mean that this is a huge step down for him, and he should pass with flying colors.
Kattar plus 333. All right. The prop, it was going to be up in the air. I think, talking in the show, I think I like Shahbazyan via TKO. Do you like that play as well?
That's not bad.
Plus 135. When he does, he finishes a lot of people. He actually finishes everyone except one opponent, and it's all via knockouts. And Budka's a guy he's going to get the better of on the feet. So yeah, give me Shahbazyan via TKO because I think he's going to win, and that's how he wins.
I'm going to take a KO prop too. I'm going to take Jose Delgado on the KO. Plus 175 for him to knock out Connor Matthews. And man, like, I just think his hand's so fast, so dangerous. So I'm going to take Jose Delgado by KO.
The controller will not have control of his senses after Delgado takes care of him. All right, the Bonfim brothers are our locks. Kattar and Mays are the dogs. Delgado knockout, Shahbazyan knockout are the props. All right, Hungry Man Jong, Supervan parlay. Gumby, go ahead.
So first of all, I just want to throw an honorable mention in there. I almost tried to use Ketlin Souza's knockout prop. Okay. I mentioned before on yesterday's show. Yeah, I scared you off of Souza by decision. She's got that big right hand, and Angela Hill drops her left hand when she throws a right. So right hand counter, and yeah, the fact that she's 42 or something like that. Like, yeah, I mean, like that all plays into a Ketlin Souza. That one's plus 900. So I just wanted to mention that because I'm going with quite a smaller set of plays this week. I'm going to take Dontel Mays KO prop to start it off. I mentioned that I liked him as an underdog. Walter Walker gets exhausted. There's a good chance he gets TKO'd at some point in time here. Plus 350 on the knockout prop for Dontel Mays, which I
for
really
a heavyweight,
like.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I mentioned it on yesterday's episode, but I'm going to add together with the points line with Julia Avila. I like Julia Avila plus 3.5 at plus 195. I think she's going to steal at least one round off of Cavalcante, who seems to be in close fights every single time she does. And at plus 195, you're getting great value on Avila there. So I like those two put together gives you plus 1227, so like 12 and change of your money back.
All right, you are all set now. You can come get if you want more info, intel. Our opinions, we can be found in our Discord, sportsgamblingpockets.com/Discord. We can be found in checking out the comments on MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. Twitter, Gumby runs our account at SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. You can check out my Substack. Take all our advice. Go to my Substack and win my Pick'em contest. All right, you can win a $50 gift card anywhere you like this week. Thanks to it's actually sponsored by SGPN. So there you go. So go to moneymma.substack.com. Win some free stuff from me. Gumby's got Top Turtle MMA podcast. Who is on it this week, Gumby?
We're talking to Vince Morales and Connor Matthews, who are both fighting on this card. Yeah.
All right, so check it out. And of course, sportsgamblingpockets.com, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky. sportsgamblingpockets.com/Patreon. And Underdog Fantasy and mybookie.ag. MMA SGPN is your code to get lots of free stuff from those places when you sign up. Gumby, take the people out of here until Sunday.
All right, I'm David Gumby Vreeland. He's the Golden Boy, Jeff Fox, and we will see you on Sunday.